jot or one tittle
It said one jot or a portion of the sea raised.
shall in no wise pass from the law.
It shall in no wise pass. Yeah, that's because of the
Not
law.
one tittle will pass from the law.
Exactly. Okay. So who were the laws given to?
Who were the laws given to?
Yeah, when they showed who was given the law.
The law was given to Moses.
And then Moses gave it to who?
The Israelites.
Okay. Are you there?
That's right.
Am I an Israelite? No.
No. So what are you doing with the scripture?
What am I doing with scripture
Yeah,
in my
it's not
hand?
an Israelite.
Because Jesus told me to go out and preach His word to all of the people. To all the people. Yeah.
Precept.
But the Spirit of God brings life.
Jump right into it. Are you black?
I really wanted to cover that. I'm actually happy about this. Explain your blackness. Or level of blackness.
So my level of blackness, I mean, I put, you know, it's like light skin. I'm bright skin.
Ooh.
So
Oh, okay. Bright skin. I like that.
I'm above.
My child's bright skin.
I'm above light skin. No, but yeah, my dad's black. Anytime people find out, y'all know Key and Peele, the show?
Yeah.
So, you know, like when Barack Obama
Yeah.
going in, white man handshake different, black. When they find out I'm black,
You got the good handshake.
it changes. Like, it's the whole vibe. The whole vibe changes. It goes from, hey, Zay, how you doing? Hey, yo, Zay, what up, man? You good? So the whole vibe changes.
They were giving you one of these before, the straight hand?
No, it's like, it's really like that. I think Hart did the same thing. He's like, oh,
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you. I'm
pleasure
like,
to meet you.
You know I'm black. It changes. Like, oh, Zay.
Yeah, I heard you was black, bro. I found out he was black. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
No, but yeah, my dad is probably the same skin tone as y'all, but my mom's genes kind of.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow believers of this faith, this ministry, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, brother sent me the clip with this. Looks like a big white boy. I think he played. I looked him up. He played for the Knicks. I don't even know. Isaiah Hartenstein, which that last name looks like a small hat name. So anyway, he says his father is so-called black, right? Black and white technically has nothing to do with nationality. And let me say, before I go on, I am not at all against the doctrine of Edom and what's coming to him, right? And according to the scripture. But, you know, at the end of the day, when these brothers asked this white-looking man, you know, the white man, he asked him, are you an Israelite? He said no. But if he asked a so-called black person, they was an Israelite, and they said no, they would still be pushing the message for him to be an Israelite, where we must understand if white people can look white and Caucasian and still be Israelites, because some white people who look white are in fact Israelites, so can black people who have my complexion, so-called, be a non-Israelite. Literally, can be a Cushite or a Hamite, right? Could be from Mizraim, you know, an Egyptian. So you can't strictly go on the color. And, you know, it seems like when these videos come out, Edomite slices this and Edomite cuts them, and Wi-Fi is known for that, right? So if we understand that the Israelites can look like different nations, why isn't other nations standing up there with Israelites? Now, you have the black conscious community. You know, I know we're going to get flack from that. Not black conscious, the black only Israelites who will speak of mamzers. Well, that Yiddish word, by the way, that comes about, that word just typically means, what does it mean? An illegitimate child born from a parent, born from, you know, two parents that had illegitimacy. So it's not strictly nationality. Like, you can go to the story, I believe it was Jephthah, right? Who they cast him away because his mother was an harlot. So he would be considered illegitimate child. Now, Amos 3:7, or was it 9:7, says that mother should be harlots in the street. We go on to, let me get this scripture. I don't want to keep quoting scriptures. I want to read some. Ezekiel 22:15, it says, and I will scatter thee among the heathen. Meaning if we are scattered amongst the heathen, we're going to practice as the heathen. So when you get into it, we're technically all mamzers. That's why if you believe in that mamzer doctrine, then you don't believe in the Messiah. Right? Now we know the Most High made sure that Yahushua came through a legitimate understanding, so to speak, which we believe it was male and female, not some Babylonian or Egyptian deity, right? But we all fit the curse, right? We all fit the curse. Now, you remember David with Bathsheba, I believe they lost the first child, if I'm not mistaken. The Lord cursed David's line behind that. So really, you can look at the whole line being cursed, even Solomon going off. So understand that if you're promoting that narrative, then we all are mamzers. How many of us was born with our mamas in the truth, or our fathers in the truth, legitimately? Your mother might have had, I don't know how many men. Your father might have had, I don't know how many women that had other husbands. So we all screwed. So you can't go on that. So the curse between having white skin and black skin is the same damn thing. The white skin is a curse, but as far as the legitimacy of a family, it's the same damn thing. We all are cursed. So anyway, let's read Hosea 1:10. Let me go back to Ezekiel, right? And disperse thee in the countries, and will consume thy filthiness out of thee. So another issue that I have when I see this, and I even had to tell brothers this when, a while back, just because a white man comes up and he doesn't believe in the truth, right? And he loves Christianity, that doesn't mean he's technically an Edomite. Because what if a so-called black person come up and do the same thing? We'll just say, oh, he's just a lost Israelite. But how do we know he's even an Israelite? That's why the scripture says, try the spirit by the spirit. Romans 8:16 says, it's the spirit that beareth witness. I don't think any of these groups do that. And I think they're blinded by the fame, right? By the attention and by the views. I think they're blinded by that. I think they see it was a camp that pushed with us, which they don't, well, it was some guys that pushed with us. Then they went off and started their own big shenanigans, if you want to say that, and had their camp going. And every video was they went into the communities, or they did go into the chief places, but they targeted people who look white. And then when they would post their videos, it would say Edomite gets cut. Edomites get slashed with the sword. Right? And then what happens is you got to keep feeding the entertainment. Right? You got to keep the people hyped. This group IUIC, they do that same thing. And you go into that Passover, you see so-called blacks, Hispanics. You don't see nobody look white. If they do have light skin, they got a Hispanic look. But you see nobody in there look white. Why is that? This man that you see here clearly said that. His father was so-called black, but he got dominated by the mama's gene. Happens all the time. Okay? This basketball player Larry Bird, and the problem with our people, right? They're so blinded by skin color. They'll say it's not about skin color, but they'll favor anybody who's white. And they'll say great things. But if he was black, like Eminem, would they be giving him that much hype or that much praise? No. But this man, Larry Bird, come to find out his origins go back to the Native Americans, the northern tribes. And he looks purely white. But he used to, when he played basketball, he said, don't put no white boys in front of me. I only want black guys. And he hung out with Jake. Years ago, we would have thought this was a man who was just trying to be black. Not that we don't have some of them running around out there too, that we know ain't. Just to consider, this is not a video just to say we're saying Larry Bird is an Israelite or this man is an Israelite. We're doing this video because if this is the possibility, then we must look into the spirit and stop looking at skin color. That's what we must do. Hosea 1:10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be the sand as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. You can number a Negro. You can number a Haitian, you know. You can number different black people, even some white people. But the children of Israel can never be numbered. If you look at sand can look very white to almost reddish to brown to very dark brown. Why don't we give that understanding? Why don't we go into that understanding? And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Even in the truth, when you look at this and you go technically deeper into it, even in the truth, in this place that we woke up called America and we're scattered all around the world, we will look at somebody like this man on the screen and say, ye are not our people. But he may very well still be our people. Even though his father is so-called black, if his father's of another nationality, he wouldn't be an Israelite either. His father could be Ham. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But judging by this man's spirit in his actions and how he connects with everybody else, you can see that not to be true. So when we go to Isaiah 11, and it's crazy because I'm doing this video because all these titles that I see is Edomite gets cut with this, Edomite gets cut with the scriptures and the swords. And every once in a while they'll say Cushite gets cut, you know, Hamite gets cut. And sometimes that is true. I'm not saying that some of them people aren't Israelites. So no way taking this video and saying that every white person come up as an Israelite. But we do know the history of the Irish. They were called Black Irish, and they used their skin color to maneuver and get away with things just like the Sicilians. But they caught a bit of hell too. But the state of this society pushed the complexion thing, the Willie Lynch, you know the history. Isaiah 11:11. Well, and the complexion really had nothing to do with it. It was about nationality. But they used that complexion doctrine to separate us. Now we say Edom came all out red like a hairy garment because that's what he is. He knew he was, right? Anyway, that word Roth, you know, goes to a German word red. Red child, right? And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush, right? And when you go into Egypt, Assyria, you know, that's also representing America, Babylon, okay? And then it goes on to say, and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So the Israelites are scattered abroad, right? So let's get another scripture. You have something called the tares and the wheats. The wheats and the tare. Revelation 7:9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, right? And kindreds. Christians use this. They don't understand. Yes, it is of all nations. The Israelites are amongst all nations. We just read that in Ezekiel. And kindreds and peoples and tongues stood before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So now we get a better look at this. We see this word a great multitude, which we know the multitudes of the Israelites, which no man could number, meaning you can't number us. We just read that in Hosea 1. Israel shall be the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. Right? And kindreds and peoples and people, which goes to kindreds. This goes, when you see this, this goes to like Old English connection of words. So they'll use 3 words to mean one particular thing. So we see this word nation, right? That nation also means the kindreds, and that word kindreds also mean the people and the tongues. So when John saw this, this would be people of all nations, right? This would be people who looks like all kindreds. This would be people who will have all tongues, stood before the throne and the Lamb, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So to you who already know this, we know it back and forth, but for the sake of the video, now when we go to nations, G1484, it says a multitude of associating, living together, individuals of the same nature or genus. When you go to the word genetics, when you go to the word genus, right? A tribe, a nation of people, a tribe, a nation of people, and it also goes into the Old Testament, nations, foreign nations not worshiping the true God. So this is already in definition 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 says Paul uses the term as Gentile Christians, right? And this is where they get confused. We're going to go further on that. So we go to this word. We're going to go to this word genus. Okay, let's see what that says. It's a different, a Latin word. Okay, it goes to the word class of things, biological sense, right? Biological. Genus, it says a race, a stock, kind, family, birth, descent, origin. So when you see the word nations, all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, this is talking about people of the whole nations. Now, if it was excluding and saying it was technically all the people on the planet of all different nations, it would say that, right? But what is it saying is these are people who are scattered amongst nations and have the same birth origin in genetics. We'll move on to prove that further. Kindreds, where it says kindreds and peoples and tongues, Genesis 54:43. It says in the New Testament, all the persons descending from the 12 sons of the patriarch of Jacob, a nation and people. That's what it says. You know? And then you have all the precepts down here that prove it. When you go up to Revelation 7, it talks about the 12 tribes were sealed, right? James 1:1 is a precept. Okay? Romans 11:1. Have God cast away his people? God forbid, for I also am an Israelite. Why is this precept in this word kindreds? And you know when it says kindred, let's go back, it's with an S. So it makes it sound like all different people too. It should have just said in kindred, right? But because of the context, the Israelites were scattered amongst all people. And these are nations with an S, by the way. And the people, here's what it says, a tribe, nation, see, if it just says a tribe and a nation, you can't set that up to say it's talking about everybody because it's talking about a particular group. It says a people group. It says all those who have the same stock and language. This is what it says in the word peoples. So we can't look at somebody because they have black skin and say they are particularly an Israelite. We can't look at somebody who looks Ammon and Moab and say, well, you know what? You're a heathen. Are you too lazy to be spiritual? Or is it just for the views? Right? Or is it just for the entertainment? Because, you know, black people, so-called black people, Israelites, they love drama. That's why they had to give you Jake's TVs, man. Video games, TVs, and something to occupy yourself, including myself. We all love entertainment because we're flavorful, right? We're not boring people. So what happens is when you see these brothers going in, cut them with the scriptures, cut them with the sword, he's getting sliced and diced. If you leave it up to these guys that's all about waking up black people, the elect will never get sealed. And these groups make fun of us having people who look white in the groups. When clearly Daniel the 12th chapter says, none of the wicked shall understand, but the righteous shall. So you mean to tell me you don't have enough trust and faith in the belief if this white person is in the camp, the Lord won't remove him or allow him in? Let alone you got so-called black people that come into the camp who is just as wicked. Jeremiah 5:28 says, they have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. So we, in ourselves, we can't be that judgmental because somebody looks a certain way. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.